A Russian SU-25 aircraft was shot down by the Ukrainian military in the Pokrovsk direction, as reported by the Operational Strategic Grouping of Troops Khortytsa. The plane is shot down as it was conducting close air bombardment of Ukrainian troops on the front line in Donetsk region. Ukrainian attacks on Russian infrastructure are continuing. Nord Oil motor oil plant is burning down in Taldom, Moscow region. Russians note issues in drone production. For one Russian FPV, there are up to 10 Ukrainian ones, and Ukraine has overcome the shortage thanks to its own developments and the help of its allies. They note the lack of drones similar Baba Yaga, which causes enormous inconvenience. We are losing the war of drones. Hopes for the Chinese rear are in vain. We need our own mass production. There is a clear trend at the front. For every one Russian FPV drone, there can be up to 10 Ukrainian ones. This is not news. The enemy has long relied on this type of weaponry and is thus trying to compensate for Russia's superiority in firepower. Of course, Ukrainians do not make their own UAVs entirely, but rely on supplies of components and finished products from third countries. This is both Chinese loose powder and Western developments. For example, as part of the so-called unmanned coalition, NATO plans to supply Kyiv with 1 million drones, including those equipped with machine vision systems, that is, capable of independently aiming at a target, and in theory, generally acting completely independently, which will make electronic warfare equipment almost useless. And this does not take into account Ukrainian purchases and production of our own products. The armed forces of Ukraine have already been able to correct the situation with the shortage of FPV drones, when their production was the lot of either craftsmen in the units or volunteers. Now they have everything streamlined, and we are already seeing extremely unpleasant results. The front urgently needs anti-drone systems. At the same time, not only electronic warfare equipment that has already become relatively familiar, but also devices based on kinetic action, that is, shooting down, and not on jamming. And of course, the Russian armed forces need massive supplies of a diverse range of UAVs. Not just one model that will be purchased all year, despite the fact that it can no longer overcome enemy electronic warfare systems. Many devices at different frequencies, different form factors, with and without machine vision, and most importantly, made in Russia. There is no point in hoping that purchasing from China will completely fill this niche. Without our own school of development, production, and application, we will not be able to reverse the current situation. After all, where is the Russian Baba Yaga? Russian soldier loses his hand attempting to take apart a piece of ammunition. It's also incredible how his comrades abandon him immediately after the incident. Russia, 5 IL-76MD-90A aircraft used by the Airborne Paratroopers, VDV, grounded after incidents due to faulty ball bearings in the landing gear assembly supplied by Balashika Mechanical Plant, which sourced the ball bearings from unknown manufacturers and forged the paperwork. A Wild Hornet drone of the Bulava unit flies into a Russian tank with accuracy. Russian Nazis are spreading video in which a Ukrainian police officer allegedly stains with blood the uniform of a doctor at the Okhmadit Center in Kyiv, which was hit by the Nazi cruise missile. Not to mention that such a video could be filmed anywhere, and bloodstains are inconsistent. It is not clear what this Nazi is hinting at. that there was no strike at all, or that its consequences are greatly exaggerated. A video has appeared of a police officer smearing blood on a doctor's robe from a children's hospital, which was hit by the PR of the junta and all Western media. The fact that Kyiv hyped up the event and took staged photos under the guidance of Western advisors is, on the whole, not surprising. But the fact that real donor blood was used for the production is truly terrible. This is blood for sick children, but Kyiv doesn't care when it can beg for more money from the West. Meanwhile, the Russians continue to actively raise money for Starlinks, which are then used in the war against Ukraine. This blogger has fundraised for quite a few Starlinks now. His colleague thanked him for providing such a wonderful device that will help us defeat the enemy on the ground. Zelensky arrived at the residence of the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, marking the first foreign visit to Downing Street since Starmer's election as Prime Minister. Ukraine and Great Britain signed a framework agreement for a $2 billion loan to finance Ukraine's defense needs. The agreement, signed by Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov and UK Defense Minister John Healey, aims to enhance Ukraine's defense capabilities, including purchasing modern weapons and military equipment per NATO standards. The 15-year loan, extendable and at a favorable interest rate, will support large-scale defense projects, particularly in air defense, reducing the state budget burden. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer also announced a crackdown on Russia's so-called shadow fleet of oil tankers used to skirt international sanctions. The joint call to action aims to disrupt the fleet of around 600 vessels, which Western countries say are used by Moscow to transport about 1.7 million barrels of oil per day. The UK government has also announced sanctions on 11 tankers carrying Russian oil. 8 of them are owned by Russia's state-run Sovcomflow PJSC, and 3 are likely shadow fleet vessels, according to an updated sanctions list. Alongside our European partners, we have sent a clear message to those enabling Putin's attempts to evade sanctions. We will not allow Russia's shadow fleet and the dirty money it generates to flow freely through European waters and put our security at risk, Starmer said.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.